so that's where we get our power from. It kind of freezes them because they don't know where you're going. To move with it, to kind of like have some swag with it.
My name is Tidia. I'm a sports scientist and former pro athlete. Today we are here with Melita, a professional basketball player from the UK. Melita was born in '95 in London and played many years for the national GB basketball team. In 2018, Melita won a silver medal in the Commonwealth Games. She started her professional career in 2014, playing in France and Spain first. In 2020, she returned back to the UK and played for the London Lions and the Gloucester Queens.
Hi everyone, today I'm going to teach you a couple of tricks and tips to make basketball a lot easier. Let's go! In basketball, we use our wrists quite a lot, so the first thing we're going to do is stretch our wrists and make them more mobile. So we're going to rotate our wrists a couple of times one way and then a couple of times the other way. Then we're going to flex them, so we're just going to point them to the floor and then up to the ceiling as well. And then upside. Next, we're going to stretch our fingers. So usually I will use a basketball. So I palm the ball, which kind of looks like this. Literally just trying to stretch my fingers as wide as possible to try and grip the ball. So then you're holding it like this. Okay, and the same thing on the other side. Usually one side's going to be better than the other. So for me, my left side's not as great. But it's just something to just stretch my fingers out. There we go. Next up, we're going to do some ball slaps. This is just to make sure that our fingers are ready to catch and pass the ball. So literally just slap the ball as hard as you can. So one thing I should mention is that we use our fingertips in basketball and we never use our palms. So we kind of use this analogy: keep your palms clean and your fingertips dirty. Every time we catch the ball, we want to make sure that it's on our fingertips. Even when we dribble the basketball, it never touches our palm. Alright, so first things first is dribbling, okay? So like I said before, we want to dribble with our fingertips and we're also going to flick our wrists, okay? So that's where we get our power from, not necessarily from our whole arm. So how we dribble the basketball is you want to dribble it just directly in front of you and a little bit to the side, because you don't want the basketball to hit your foot and roll away. And it's also easier to control as well in this spot. So we're literally just going to bounce it right in front of us. It's okay to look at the ball at first, just so you can get a feel for it. Again, you want to make sure you're flicking your wrist as much as possible. And then when you get comfortable, you can start looking up, you can look around. And then also have this hand just kind of slightly in front of you to protect the basketball. And then you can switch hands, do it with your left hand. So you want to try and do this with your weaker hand more than your dominant hand, because it's going to be a lot harder to do with your weaker hand. So you see how the ball's bouncing just a little bit in front of my foot and a little bit to the side. And that's how we dribble. So first thing we're going to do is small dribbles. So you want to make sure your feet are shoulder width apart and your knees are bent and you're not leaning forward. You want to just keep your knees bent and your back straight. So you're going to dribble it just using your fingertips. Once you get really good at this, you want to make sure that your eyes are up, looking forward and not at the ball. Then we're going to go a little bit higher, like knee length. And then even higher to your shoulders. With this other hand, you want to make sure that it's kind of like loose and it's ready to move, because sometimes the defender will try to knock the ball away from you. So we use this hand to kind of protect the ball, okay? So it's just going to be here. Lovely. So next up is the crossover. So this is a classic basketball move that we use all the time. So it's just going to go across our body, and you kind of want to use your torso as well to move with it, to kind of like have some swag with it. So with the crossover, you want to make sure that your upper torso is pretty flexible. So feet are still shoulder width apart, knees are still bent, and we're just going to cross the ball over from one side to the other side, using our wrists especially to flip the ball. So it looks like that. So the next skill I'm going to teach you is the through the legs. Sometimes this could be hard to just start with, so I'm going to simplify it first. So knees bent, same thing as always, legs shoulder width apart. So you're going to use the ball to just go through the legs. So you're not going to allow it to bounce on the floor. You're just going to make a figure of 8 shape around your legs. And then you're going to try to do it as fast as you can. And then you're going to do it the other way as well. So just reverse. One thing, it's okay to make mistakes. I know I'm talking as I'm doing this, but if you make mistakes, that means it's an opportunity for you to get better. So next we're going to do an actual through the legs with a bounce. So same thing, feet shoulder width apart, and you're just going to add a bounce in the middle and then catch it with your other hand. So it's the exact same thing as what we were doing before, but you're literally just adding a bounce in between your legs. If you have problems with the through the legs, just think to yourself, you want to bounce the ball directly in between your legs and have your other hand ready to receive the ball. So you want to just bounce it and catch. Bounce it, catch. Bounce it, catch. Bounce, catch. And then when you get better, you can just be more smooth with it. You can also add a dribble in between if you want. So you can have a dribble here, through the legs, dribble there, through the legs, dribble, through the legs. Here we go. If you're still uncomfortable using these tricks and these skills that I taught you, there's one skill that I find very comfortable where I don't necessarily have to think about the ball rolling away from me, and this is called a hesitation, or it's called an in and out move. So you want to bounce the ball, and then you want to just make the ball go from one side to the other side using the same hand. So we're going to dribble, and you're going to go from one side to the other. Okay, I'll do it again for you. So one side through, one side through, one side through. I find this one easier just because the ball's in my dominant hand and I don't necessarily have to do much movement. The ball does all the movement for me. So again, just round. And also, in a game, for example, if a defender's in front of you, you can attack them and use this, and they're going to think you're going one side, but really and truly you're going to the other side. And you can add some swag to it as well. So like, have your body nice and loose and kind of dribble up for them and then go like that. Okay, because it kind of freezes them because they don't know where you're going.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button.
And follow me on Instagram at Melita Emanuel-Carr. Bye. Sorry. So today I'm going to take you through a couple of tricks and tips to make what?